Detective Jo Teo is part of a tough, street-smart, violent crimes unit in Seoul. The film opens with him and his team working undercover to bust a luxury car smuggling ring. Disguised as a wealthy buyer, Jo Teo confidently enters a high-end auto dealership, playing his role with charm and wit. He engages with the smugglers, pretending to negotiate for an illegal car deal. His casual demeanor hides his sharp instincts. Moments later, with perfect timing, his team bursts in. What follows is a wild, fast-paced brawl, true to the film's mix of action and humor. As the criminals try to flee, Jo Teo and his crew chase them through alleys and back streets. They fight hard, catching most of the gang. This scene introduces the audience to Jo Teo's character, clever, tough, and unafraid to throw a punch for justice. The energy is high, with intense action and comedic timing that keeps the mood light even in the chaos. This successful bust earns Jo Teo praise, but he quickly moves on, showing that for him, justice is never done. There's always another case. As the team celebrates, Jo Teo's sharp eye notices something off at a nearby entertainment event. Here, the film subtly transitions to the next big conflict, his first encounter with the arrogant and cruel Jo Teo, the rich heir of the Syndicate group. After his undercover success, Detective Jo Teo attends a TV production celebration party with his team. It's a lively gathering filled with celebrities, staff, and executives. Among the guests is Jo Teo, the spoiled and arrogant heir of the powerful Syndicate group. Teo stands out immediately. Dressed in expensive clothes and surrounded by bodyguards, he behaves with no regard for others. He hosts a cruel game at the party, forcing two desperate men to arm wrestle for his entertainment. One of the men is a stuntman Jo Teo recognizes. The scene is tense and uncomfortable, showing Teo's twisted sense of power. Jo Teo observes this silently, but doesn't act just yet. He sizes Teo up, clearly not impressed. Teo, on the other hand, treats the party like his personal playground. He's disrespectful and smug, using his wealth to belittle everyone around him. The moment gives a clear glimpse into his privileged world, where he believes money can cover up anything. While the detective remains focused on celebrating the recent case, his instinct tells him this man might be trouble. As the party wraps up, Jo Teo leaves with a nagging feeling. Meanwhile, Teo's next cruel act is already brewing, setting the stage for the conflict to come. Not long after the party, Jo Teo receives troubling news involving a truck driver named Bae. Bae is a hard-working delivery man who's been struggling to get paid by a logistics company connected to the Syndicate group. Frustrated and desperate, Bae heads to the company's office to demand his rightful wages. The confrontation quickly turns sour. Instead of helping him, the staff treats him with indifference. His persistence leads him directly to Jo Teo. When Bae finally meets Teo, he pleads for the unpaid money, explaining that he needs it to support his family. Teo, amused and irritated, responds with cruelty. Rather than offering help, he insults Bae and suddenly turns violent. In a shocking outburst, Teo physically assaults him in front of his bodyguards. His staff remains silent, used to turning a blind eye. Afterward, Bae stumbles away, humiliated and injured. The company tries to cover up the assault, but Bae's wife and son are devastated by what happened. Jo Teo hears about the incident through a tip and becomes suspicious, sensing that there's more to this than just a wage dispute. The assault on Bae becomes the spark that pushes the detective to dig deeper. Following the brutal beating by Jo Teo, truck driver Bae disappears. Days later, shocking news reaches Detective Jo Teo. Bae is in the hospital, having fallen from a building in what officials claim was a suicide attempt. The case is quickly being dismissed as self-inflicted, but Jo Teo senses something suspicious. He visits the hospital, finding Bae in a coma, barely clinging to life. The sight of the man he recently met, now battered, unconscious, and silent, deeply affects him. Jo Teo meets Bae's distraught wife and young son at the hospital. They insist Bae would never try to take his own life, especially with a family to care for. Their words stay with Jo Teo, stirring a growing sense of injustice. He starts questioning the official story, and his instincts as a detective kick in. Meanwhile, Syndicate Group is already working behind the scenes to cover up the incident. Jo Teo continues his life unbothered, confident that his wealth and influence will bury any consequences. His team even pressures Bae's wife to accept a financial settlement in exchange for silence. Jo Teo refuses to let it go. He digs into Bae's work history, the logistics company, and its connections to Syndicate. Something doesn't add up, and he knows it. The more he uncovers, the more determined he becomes. This scene marks the shift from suspicion to full pursuit. Jo Teo now sees Bae not just as a victim, but as a symbol of the corruption and cruelty within Syndicate's power structure. Fueled by anger and doubt, Detective Jo Teo launches a deeper investigation into Bae's case. While others try to dismiss it as a suicide attempt, Jo Teo isn't convinced. He begins retracing Bae's steps before the fall, interviewing co-workers, company staff, and witnesses. Slowly, a disturbing picture begins to emerge, one that points to foul play and deliberate silence enforced by fear. As Jo Teo digs further, he finds that the logistics company has direct ties to the Syndicate group. The company's management is tight-lipped, clearly intimidated. Some employees hint at Jo Teo's violent behavior but refuse to go on record. Do Chol's persistence irritates his superiors, who warn him to back off, especially since the Syndicate group holds significant influence. Ignoring the pressure, Do starts connecting the dots. He reviews surveillance footage and discovers inconsistencies in the official timeline of Bei's fall. His team helps piece together the logistics company's internal records, revealing financial manipulation and employee mistreatment. It becomes clear that Bei was never suicidal. He was a victim trying to stand up against exploitation. Meanwhile, Jo Teo becomes aware of the investigation and starts using his power to interfere. He attempts to bribe, intimidate, and delay any progress, but Do Chol refuses to yield. For the detective, it's no longer just about Bei. It's about justice and exposing the toxic system that shields the rich and powerful. Realizing they can't buy off Do Chol directly, Teo's team changes tactics. They decide to target someone close to him, his wife. In a calculated move, a representative from Syndicate approaches her under the guise of a kind offer, pretending to be concerned about her husband's overwork and stress. The representative politely suggests that Do Chol might benefit from some time off and offers a generous envelope filled with cash. It's framed as a gesture of goodwill, but the meaning is clear: stop the investigation or your family might suffer. His wife, shocked and uncomfortable, refuses the money. She knows her husband wouldn't back down for any amount. Later, Jo Teo learns about the encounter. Though his wife tries to downplay it, he is furious, not just because of the bribe, but because now his family is being dragged into the danger. This moment fuels his determination even more. The case is no longer just about justice for Bei. It's personal. Do Chol confronts his superiors again, but they continue to urge him to step back. Instead, he doubles down, telling his team that no one, no matter how rich or powerful, should be allowed to hurt the innocent and walk free. Teo, meanwhile, grows bolder, believing that money can solve anything, but Do Chol's refusal to be bought only sets them on a more explosive collision course. With bribery failing to silence Detective Do Chol, Jo Teo resorts to more extreme measures, knowing Do Chol won't back off. Back at the station, his team is shaken but more united than ever. Do Chol refuses medical leave, determined to finish what he started. Do Chol begins to meticulously collect everything, from company financial records to testimonies from disgruntled employees who have witnessed Teo's violent behavior. He revisits Bei's case, uncovering more inconsistencies in the official story. Using surveillance footage, he traces Teo's movements, confirming his involvement in Bei's assault and linking him to other incidents of corruption and violence. Every piece of evidence he uncovers paints a darker picture of Teo's criminal empire. Do Chol's determination grows stronger, as does his resolve to see justice done. While his investigation deepens, Do Chol faces increasing opposition from higher-ups in the police force, who are still pressured by the Syndicate group to drop the case. However, Do Chol refuses to back down. His team, now more supportive than ever, helps him gather crucial testimony from employees who have suffered at the hands of Syndicate group. Despite the threats and intimidation from Teo's people, the evidence begins to mount, and Do Chol is more convinced than ever that Teo is not untouchable. With the clock ticking and his enemies closing in, Do Chol prepares for a final confrontation, knowing that the evidence he has gathered is his best shot at bringing down Teo and Syndicate group once and for all. As Detective Do Chol closes in on Jo Teo, the businessman becomes increasingly desperate. Realizing that his empire is on the verge of collapse, Teo begins to make plans to flee the country. With mounting evidence against him and the police tightening the noose, he arranges for a private jet to take him to a safer, more distant location. The plan is set in motion in the dead of night, as he seeks to escape the consequences of his violent and corrupt actions. However, Do Chol and his team are ready. Having gathered enough evidence to arrest him, they track Teo's movements and learn of his escape attempt. Do Chol's determination to catch Teo is unwavering, and he leads a final operation to intercept the flight. In an intense chase, Do Chol and his team arrive just in time to prevent Teo's escape. As Teo tries to flee through the airport, the police close in on him. Realizing there is no way out, he is captured, but not without a fight. Teo, ever the arrogant criminal, tries to manipulate his way out of the situation, offering bribes and threats. But Do Chol is resolute and finally arrests Teo, ensuring he will face the consequences of his actions. This scene marks the culmination of Do Chol's relentless pursuit of justice, bringing an end to Teo's reign of corruption. The final confrontation between Detective Do Kebbell and Jo Teo unfolds in a tense, high-stakes showdown. After Do Kebbell successfully intercepts Teo's escape attempt, he brings the corrupt businessman to face justice. Teo, now fully aware that his empire is collapsing, tries to use his wealth and influence one last time to avoid punishment. He remains confident, believing that money can still save him. Teo arrogantly threatens Do Chol, claiming that his power will ultimately protect him from the law. He offers bribes and seeks to manipulate Do Chol into backing down, but the detective is resolute. The years of relentless corruption, violence, and injustice have finally caught up with him. and Jo Teo is determined to make sure Teo faces the consequences for his crimes. The scene closes with Teo being led away in handcuffs, his reign of terror finally over. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this recap, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more. Catch you in the next one. Stay chilled.